Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Clara. I am the co-founder of List Perfectly. And today I'm going to be talking about an exciting topic. And what a beautiful topic, because we're so honored to be joined today by amazing Vikki Silverberg. Welcome, Vikki. Hi.
Hello, thanks for having me, my friend. My dog might bark. I apologize. She thinks I'm saying hello to a stranger that has invaded the house, not a stranger in my computer. So she may bark. Happy to be here, my friend. Happy to see you. I think Trish will be joining us shortly too. We're very excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Vikki, please introduce yourself to our amazing audience, please.
So I'm Vikki. My business is LV Pink Peacock. I am one half of Katie and Vikki YouTube channel. Katie is my wife. We have been early adopters with List Perfectly. I've been a List Perfectly user since the very beginning, since right off they got off of their wait list in 2019.
Oh, no, you did. Yes, we did put the wait list. Our server was crashing.
You exploded so quickly you couldn't prepare.
Oh, no, I remember when you would call me and tell, hey, Clara, I don't mean to bother you, but do you mind fixing LP so I can keep posting? Okay. Okay.
That was the way in the beginning. I mean, come on. In the beginning, there was no the help desk was Clara or Amanda. Like you would call and say, "Hey, this thing might not be working. Can I have some help?"
And we had customer service was done. I didn't even have the email set up. And customer service was done via Facebook group. Remember?
Yep.
Way before my time.
And Posh Fest. Oh my goodness. In 2019, when we went to Posh Fest, Trish, speak about native eBayers. We felt so out of place. We're like, okay, this is very
Oh yeah, it was like fish out of water. We didn't know what we were doing. And I'm walking around in my little List Perfectly t-shirt, and I have on jewelry because I want to be poshy, and I got makeup on and the hair, and these girls are dressed to the nines. These girls are no joke, walking around, and I'm just like, what are we doing here?
I still have never gone to a Posh Fest, and I say I probably will never unless they have one in Vegas. But I'll never say never.
Go. They're fun. They're fun. It's a different crowd. It's not eBay, but it's fun. They have their own excitement. And I mean, just think about how much we all love, Tiffy Pie and Sarah Boink.
Yeah.
Sarah Boynton, they're the girls there, so it's just a different vibe, but they're fun. Most of them are very open and welcoming, and so
and think about Posh Fest was amazing, but let's give the thanks to our amazing partners, eBay, because they allowed me in 2019 when I couldn't afford to get in to do literally, I was on the entrance of eBay Open giving the list perfectly flyers, and that's the rest.
One ticket. You shared a ticket.
Yes. Oh, no, we couldn't even exchange it. So they realized, I told them that the fun is out here. So that was, I never would have expected. I always thought it would be 300 people, 500, not 1,500 overnight. But that was just incredible. I want to be so thankful to eBay also, because we are co-sponsoring along with List Perfectly, and beautiful project that we're going to be sharing with you today with Vikki and Trish, that I'm so honored. Can you please, girls, elaborate on what we're here for with our audience, please?
Trish, this is your platform.
So Vikki and I are going to do this thing called the Reseller Road Show, and Vikki and I are driving from Boston to Las Vegas.
Trish, you disappoint me. No, Boston. No.
Boston.
Thank you.
We're driving from Boston. From Boston to Vegas.
I try so hard on these lives to not sound like a doofus, and then I'm around you two and it's all out the window. So, most of you guys who are here probably know my friend Diane Lassonde, who passed away January 1st of this year. And she had about 4,200 active listings, all in List Perfectly. She was a List Perfectly fan. She was a Clara and Amanda fan. So, she was in there. And after she died, a little while later, maybe in March or so, her husband said to me, so what are we going to do with this inventory? And I said, I don't know. What do you want to do? And I gave him some ideas about us selling it. And he said to me, I really don't want to. And I said, I understand, and then he asked me if I was interested. And I don't know if many of you know this, but I have a full-time job and I work for Clara. So the idea of taking on another 4,000 listings was just too mind-boggling for me. And I said, give me a few days and let me think about it. And that night I called Vic and I said, I think this would be a good opportunity for you. And I also thought, it would make, to be quite honest with both of you and the audience, I thought it would make Diane happy. I thought Diane would be pleased.
That's what I literally, that was, I love you girls, but the fact that this is with Diane Lassonde, that was for me, like, how could I say no to sponsor such a beautiful project? And that was like, it moved me. But obviously anything that Vikki and you, Trish, whether it's Boss, Reseller Remix, or Trish, going with US, what is it, the tour with Listing Party, I'm always behind you, but in this case, for me, the second that you said is the inventory from Diane, I was like, done. What do I do?
Yeah, I really think she'll be pleased.
I think she would be happy because obviously I was friends with Diane as well and loved her dearly. And, I probably would not have flown across the country and driven back for anyone else's inventory. It is only because it's Diane's inventory. And it's something that Trish and I are doing together. And I love Diane's family. And we're able to help her Fearless Living Fund as well. So we're getting all this inventory. This is what I'm flying into Boston. I'm flying out to Boston. I leave on Tuesday. I'm going to visit with my family. I go there. For those of you that don't know, I'm from New England as well. And I'm always, every May is my time of the year that I go and spend time with my friends and family. Katie usually comes with me. But because we were just there in January for Diane's services, Katie was able to see our mutual friends at that time. And she's like, I don't need to be part of this one. You go do this trip yourself, which I was going to do. And then we talked about this and said, oh, okay, well, I guess we're going to drive back instead.
But here's the thing. I call her and I say, I have this idea. And she says, yeah, what is it? And so I tell her the idea. And then she says to me, how the hell am I going to get 4,000 items to Las Vegas? And I go, well, put them in a truck. And she goes, who's driving? I go, you and me. And she goes, you're going to go with me? I said, yeah. She goes, okay, that's it. No hesitation, no talking about it. She said, okay. So
as long as it didn't have to be me driving across the country by myself, because that would never happen. Never.
So I said, so a few days later, I said to her, I think we should make something out of it. And she said, okay. And I said, we should do a few meetups along the way. And she said, okay. And then I get involved. And what you guys don't know about me is I may be a little bit of a neurotic planner person. And so we went from
Vikki became
this 3-day cross-country road trip. I moved here.
The audience is really gonna know about us on this, okay? Let's try to behave.
I moved an entire home across the country in 3 days. It can be done in 3 days.
Yeah. You can't be done and get to see all the people that I want to see at the same time.
Fair. That's true. And the thing about it is that Trish and I both love meetups. We both love meeting and interacting with the seller community. Yeah. We both run meetups in our respective cities. And we're both really involved in the eBay community as far as the meetup community with that, as well as the List Perfectly community, obviously. So it kind of seemed like a natural marriage to like, hey, why can't we do this and benefit all of the things that we love?
That's right.
And it was really great. It's also great because like Kathy Cox, who I think I saw is in the chat. Kathy is a brand new eBay meetup leader. She is an LP person. She started a meetup. She had her first online one last week, and then this will be her first in-person one. So, that's really great. The fact that we get to help her. And, Vikki and I, we're kind of old hags at this. We've been doing this for quite a while.
Wait,
and so
who are you calling a hag?
Both of us. I was calling us both a hag.
Right, these two are out of control. Okay, I'm going to reel you back in, both of you, and I'm going to ask you a key question. So
Sure.
is obviously a purpose that is going to help, okay, you as LV Pink Peacock, that's her eBay stores and other marketplace stores. And there is obviously the benefit of going to different events with List Perfectly and eBay. But what do you think this road trip means to the community? Why do you think this will help our community?
I mean, they get to spend time with us, but I'm kidding. I think that, both Trish and I have our holds in the community, and, Trish with List Perfectly and Mastermind, and just being a reseller as well, and going to, eBay events and boss events, and same here. And Katie and I have our YouTube channel. So one of the things that helps when you have meetups in an area that is close enough for you to travel to, it's not an investment in the way that going to a conference is an investment, where you've got to get a plane ticket and a hotel, and you've got to pay for a conference like the Reseller Remix. It's an investment, and we know that, and we recognize that, but not everybody can do that. Some people can only drive a couple of hours or an hour and take a few hours out of their lives. And that's a lot of people for whatever reasons that may be. It might be financial. It might be they're taking care of kids or elderly parents or a spouse, physical limitations, whatever it may be. So having meetups that are more generally located, again, a lot of people that do this are shy. A lot of people don't know anyone else. And they're like, I don't know if I want to go to a meetup. I walk into a room where I don't know anybody. Well, you kind of already know me and Trish at least. So if you're someone that's never gone to a meetup and you've never even met either one of us in person, or maybe you have, you feel like you know us because you've interacted with us, and you do. So we're going to make it easier for you to meet other people and to meet community in your area, which is super important in being a reseller. Finding your tribe, as they call it, or finding your community and meeting with people is super important. So I think anyone that's been afraid to do that or hesitant to do that, this is an easy introductory to it, because once you've done it once, you'll know why everybody loves meetups, and you'll go to as many as you can.
Right. And it's also one of those things that, I've been a full-time reseller now for 8 years. I would not be a reseller if it wasn't for Diane Lassonde. I just wouldn't. And so for me, not only did she become my best friend in the world, not only did that happen, but I found her on meetup.com because I had a struggling business. I had a consignment store that was struggling, and I was failing miserably. And I called her. I didn't call her. I wrote in and I said, is this about selling online? And she wrote me back through the meetup thing and said, yeah, it's Thursday nights. And I said, oh, sorry, my store is open on Thursdays. And I have a consignment store in Abington. And the next day or 2 days later, this woman comes walking in and she's like, hey, I'm Diane. I talked to you on meetup. You're like, show me your store. And I'm like, this is my store. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, no, your online store. And she comes around the cash register, around the thing, and says to me, pull it up right now and show it to me. And she was, I want to say the word forceful. She was. I needed that.
Come on, let's be real. She was pushy.
She was a pushy broad who I loved dearly. But for me, if I hadn't had that, I may not have stayed in the business because I was failing miserably. And so the next week, the next month, I convinced my daughter to watch the store for me at night. And I went to the meetup. And she said, oh, there's this thing called eBay Open. Now, I've been on eBay for like 2 months. I'm making no money, right, at this point. 2 months. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And she said, I'm going to go to this thing called eBay Open. Is there anybody who wants to go with me? It's in Las Vegas. And I was sitting in the front, and she looked down at me, and I go, okay, I'll go. I don't know why I said it. And I went with her, and I met Vikki.
What else happened that year?
I met Vic that year. And that changed my whole life. Literally, I can't undersell how much it changed my life. Literally going to one meetup changed my whole life because I found my people. I became a success because of it. I went from having a failing, miserable business to being able to get out of it, be able to pay everyone back that I owed money to, meaning my dad and my husband, my family, my family money. I paid all of that money back, was able to make it into over a 6-figure business, and was able to have a real business and a real career. And then that, of course, led me to, I met Clara and Amanda through this when I was still just reselling. And then years later, they hired me. Vic and I met going up into I might have been yelling to Diane, where was the bar at the moment? And this girl said to me, what'd you say? And I go, and then she goes, where are you from? And I go, I don't know why the Boston came out. I go, where are you from? Like, I'm like, did we get into a fight at eBay Open? Like, what's wrong with me? And
so that was what, as soon as she said that, where are you from? Oh, you're from New England. You're from Boston.
But now, Vikki is one of my best friends in the entire world. And Diane really was my best friend in the world. And so my whole, still hard for me. It's so hard. And, it's one of those things that without going to a meetup, I would not be where I am now. And I also would not know the things that I know. I mean, I've learned so much from a meetup. And if you guys are not in one, it is worth seeking them out. And if there is not one in your area, it is worth starting one. And Vikki and I would be more than happy to help you do that. We want to help anybody that we can. And LP, if you're an LP person, I just would like to say this. We have gone out of our way to really nurture these relationships with meetup leaders. We will sponsor your meetup. We will help you. We have a monthly meeting on Listing Party to just talk about meetups and how we can help you grow, etc. So this is something that we take seriously because I think Clara, some of their success in listing List Perfectly came from going to meetups and talking to people and getting them to understand what was so great, because at the time it was a revolutionary product and no one else was doing it at the time. And so
that's what I always say when I talk about List Perfectly. I'm like, there's been a lot of imitators, but let's talk about the very first company to come out with this type of tool that is such exploded beyond what it was originally created as. But in the beginning, this was it. This was when people talk about game changer, that was a huge flipping game changer.
Right.
I've been a seller since 1998. I've been a seller since 1998. And you talk about you going to a meetup was your biggest revelation, and meeting Diane and everything. For me, I never went to the eBay lives. I never went to the eBay radio things. I never went to any of that stuff. I was a seller, and nobody I knew was a seller. And I was the only person doing what I did. I never knew anyone else doing, and I didn't care. And someone used to say to me, and I've said this before, I'm not a joiner. I didn't want to be part of going to any meetups. I'm like, I have friends. Why do I want to make more friends just because we both sell online? Who cares? I don't need more friends. I sell online. You sell. Who cares? I'm going to be friends with you just because we both sell on a computer? What does that have to do with anything? So someone that I used to be friends with forced me. eBay Open started coming back, and they did it in person, and they did it in Vegas. And 2016 was the first year. 2016 I went, and this person was like, you live here. What is wrong with you? You need to go to this. And I was like, again, why? I knew one person when I went. I walked out of that going, oh my God, I loved it. And then the next year I went, and that was the year I met Katie, who is now my wife. So when you talk about things changing and how meeting people in the community can absolutely change your life, I don't mean just because I met Katie. That's extreme. You're not always going to meet your spouse at a meetup. But you are going to meet lifelong friends, and that I will guarantee. Whether you're meeting them at eBay Open or a Boss Reseller Remix or some type of local meetup or some type of event, you are going to make lifelong friends and people that will influence your life and your business. It's not just one or the other.
It's so true, but it's also the fact that then opportunity arises, right? Somebody may know somebody and say, you know, I'm not interested in these, you know, 1,000 pairs of jeans. Do you know somebody? Oh yeah, I do know somebody. You know, you get to, there are also business opportunities. So it doesn't have to be, as like Vic just said, so extreme that you meet your people, but you can meet your business people. Because a lot of what we do is very insular. We sit at a computer. We meet.
You're in a silo, like you're in your own little world. And
you need these meetups. Yes.
Community. You know, we're very lucky. Like, that Katie and I both do this for a living, that we understand each other, that we have a mutual understanding of the business, the ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows, the complaints and the successes. Having that is invaluable. And I definitely recognize that we're very lucky that we have that. But if you are someone that has a partner or doesn't have a partner and you have nobody in your house to bounce this crap off of,
nobody understands us. Remember, I just did a post on our socials. They told us it wasn't a career. They told us it wasn't a real job. Okay, how many of us? My brother himself told me, stop buying dirty clothing. And I'm like, it's not dirty, it's vintage, and then dry cleaner, and it's like ready to sell. And I couldn't get that point across. And that's the power of meetup. They couldn't be LP without eBay meetups. And that I want to leave crystal clear. This is not a gimmick sell. This is a true fact. We don't advertise. We don't have a sales team. So what is so important about Vikki and Trish traveling across the country is that they're going to be going to these meetups. So can you hit some cities that you're going to be going to?
We can tell you all the cities.
Go ahead, all of them.
First
okay, people, write down now, record this. Okay, we can repeat it. Okay, but yes, okay, you need to look, okay, where they're going to be and what's near your city so you can attend, right?
And we're going to have, I'm assuming that we're going to have the links below the show that'll bring you right to the so you can log in. First of all these meetups are free. We're not charging a penny. It's free for you to attend. We're going to have refreshments at most of them. If there is a sit-down restaurant, then you're just responsible for buying your own meal or whatever. But the meetups are free. They're free to attend. There's no fee whatsoever. We are not making any money off of this. We are doing this because we want to do this. This is a want, not a need. So all the meetups are free. So we're starting in Boston, just outside of Boston. At Trish's meetup, the New England, Diane's and Trish's meetup.
I just would like to say about that meetup. So it's sellerevents.ebay.com. And I would like to say about that meetup is going to be in person and virtual. So if you are in the area, good for you, Kathleen. If you are in the area and you would love to come in person, we'd love to have you. If you're somewhere else and you just think you want to see what shenanigans we'll get into, because I'm sure there'll be some, we'd love you sign up virtually. We'd love you to do that also. Sorry, Vic, go ahead.
No, that's great. And Kathy, I'm glad you finally did it. So we've got the Boston meetup that starts on May 4th is our first meetup. And then we will have May 6th is in Maryland, DC area. So if you're in Virginia, Maryland, DC area, that's where we're going to be. Silver Springs, Maryland. And then the next one is going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on May 7th.
Which is Star Brayson's meetup.
Star was in the chat. I just saw there. Flippin' Hippos was in the chat a little earlier. So that's Star's meetup. And Star does a combination of in-person and virtual meetups. This one is going to be in person.
Yep. And then she also does thrift with me meetups sometimes too. So she does like three different things. She has an interesting concept, which I really think is fun.
And then we are doing May 8th. We will be in Ohio, in the Akron, Canton area in Ohio. That meetup is shaping up to be a big one. I think we're probably going to have 50 to 60 people at that one. So that's exciting.
So that's Michael Swope, which is One for Silver. He runs a really successful meetup there. And so he actually changed his meetup date to accommodate us. So we're really thankful for that.
And then let's see, then the next one we're doing, this is an area that did not previously have a meetup. It's the Chicago area, right outside of Chicago, in Aurora, Illinois. That meetup is on May 10th. They had a very large meetup presence in Chicago that went defunct around COVID, and then it's never come back. So we are trying to rebuild that meetup in that area and having people attend. And hopefully we are going to be able to hand it off to someone that comes that really wants to continue and have that meetup there. So that meetup is actually going to be a pretty fun one as well. That one we're meeting to thrift in the morning, and then we're having lunch at the super funky gastropub in the area. So I'm excited about that. We're going to be thrifting at the largest thrift store in Illinois. We'll see what that's their claim to fame. We'll see what that looks like.
Nice.
So fun. So we're doing a group thrift there. And then this one is a fun one. We are going to Des Moines, Iowa on May 11th. That one does not have a meetup. That is because Trish really wants to go to Iowa.
Okay. Listen,
Listen, Linda.
Linda. I had this thing that I was going to go to all 50 states by the time I was 50. But my dad got sick and it got pushed back. So now I'm giving myself till I'm 55. And I haven't been to Iowa. And we were really close.
And we support it. Hey, that's our mission in LP team. Okay, mix business with pleasure and make it. Then you don't have to work. So
if you're in Iowa,
you never know. Des Moines could be the next Ohio.
Exactly. And there's no meetup in the entire state.
Right.
I think if we could get a few people there, it may start the ball rolling. So it was a little selfish of me, but at the same time, I do really believe in this mission, and Ohio should have a meetup.
I think
Iowa.
We have 2 attendees happening right now. We have 2 attendees, and I'm hoping that we can grow that to 5. I would like to have 5 plus us. That's
I would too.
No, we'll make it happen. We're going to send the invitations to our Iowa subscribers, and we'll make sure that you'll have fun on that.
And eBay is doing the same thing. eBay is helping us push out to anyone within a 100-mile radius of any of these events. So they are helping to push it. That stuff's happening over this weekend and this next week.
Vikki, since anybody watching, if you are in the state of Iowa, all right, reach out to Trish or Vikki, okay? They'll help set up a meetup, okay? So it comes with a lot of perks. We sponsor it. We'll help you with the place to hold the meetup. If you have to give maybe some drinks, okay? We also sponsor that. So don't be afraid to reach out. We're looking forward to help you. This is a great opportunity for Iowa.
And eBay sends you great swag too. If you're a meetup leader, they send you great swag to give out to people. We've seen some pretty cool stuff that we're hoping we'll see.
Okay, I'm serious. Okay, we do send swag. Okay, but eBay, wow, eBay, they send swag. Wow,
they send good stuff, and we've been sending swag to all of our different locations. So we're excited to see what they send out because it tends to be different. In different areas. So there's that. So that's that meetup in Des Moines. Again, I'm hoping we'll have 5 or 10 people there. Even if we have 2, it's enough. It's enough. And so far we have 2. Besides us, we have 2.
That's how at least perfectly started, okay, with Teresa and I think you, okay, as the first customers, okay?
So my husband,
there, right?
My husband doesn't usually watch these. I don't know why he's watching it. Hi there.
We love you there.
Just listen to me. Does Iowa even have internet?
I'm in Argentina, okay? He's mean. I'm in Argentina, okay? And I have beautiful internet.
He is rude.
So after Iowa, then we go to Kansas City metro area. So it's Kansas City, Missouri. It's right on the border between Kansas and Missouri. So so that one is going to be a pretty large meetup as well. That is an existing meetup in that area, but we also have a lot of friends that have never attended it that we happen to know in personal in the area. And then, of course, we have our very own Susie Eads is going to be there as well. Because we can never just call her Susie. It's Susie Eads.
Yeah. I know. There are certain people, it's their first and last name, and Susie's one of those people.
Susie's one of those people. So that one's going to be really fun. I am hoping to get some good barbecue while we're in Kansas. That's all I'm going to say. We need some barbecue. It's all about the food. See, Trish and I are both foodies too. So we want to make sure that we try all different restaurants, along the way and we want to have the food that's, you know, specific to that area, like we are going to get some deep dish Chicago pizza, you know, stuff like that. Okay. And then we have one in Colorado, which is in the Denver, Colorado area. That is co-hosted.
So this is really good though. Vikki made this happen. This right here, which is going to tell you, Vikki made this happen, and I'm really, really looking forward to this. So
this
sorry,
one is one of my favorite ones. I've been to this area a lot. Katie and I source fairly frequently in the Denver, Colorado area, and we have a lot of friends in that area. So there are 3 meetups: Denver, Colorado Springs, and the Boulder City meetup. So Boulder area meetup. So there are 3 meetups in and around that area, and they're all co-hosting with us. The sad thing is all 3 of those meetup leaders are out of town that week. All 3 of them. I feel it's a conspiracy theory. They swear it isn't, but I don't know. But their members are still attending. So we're starting off that one. We are doing a thrift tour behind the scenes with ARC Thrift Stores. ARC is a chain in the Colorado area. They have 37 thrift stores, I believe, right now. And they work with the developmentally and developmentally challenged. And it's a nonprofit, and they're an amazing nonprofit. I will say I've done this tour before, and seeing the behind the scenes of how everything's done and how the factory works is really interesting for resellers. You always want to know what do you got back there? It's really interesting. So they're going to be providing us breakfast, giving us the $5 tour. And then we're going to go shop in their stores because they also give us coupons to go shop. And then we're going to go have lunch after. So that's going to be a full day that day. And I'm really excited about that.
I am too. I mean, ARC, they have a podcast and it's a good podcast.
It's a very good podcast.
Yeah, it really is.
I've been on the podcast a couple of times. I believe Clara has been on it.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah. It is a great podcast, but what I really love about their organization is that they're really welcoming to resellers, because, you know, a lot of these thrift stores look at us like we're the enemy, and ARC doesn't. So I'm really interested to go to that. I'm really looking forward to it. And then after that, we go to St. George, Utah, where our own Jill Mustachia, did I say that right? Did I say her last name right?
Yes.
Okay. Lives. And so Utah may have been on my list.
It's like the T says it's missing the U that is on the other post. Okay,
no, there is what you meant. And so I'm really happy.
See, and Jill is the location that we have for the St. George meetup may change. We'll see.
Okay.
I just picked a location because in the as of now, it was just Jill and Trish and I. But if there are more people that are able to attend, I'm cool with that. We're doing an early lunch there. It's just going to be a meetup. St. George is about 90 minutes away from Vegas. So that's going to be our dead end of the trip, where we are probably a little tired.
We're having one more meetup after that.
We are, but we have a night to rest.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be at the end of the driving portion of the trip, I should say. So it's about 90 minutes away.
Yeah.
And then after that, and Utah is a beautiful state. She's only going to get to see a portion of it, but St. George is particularly beautiful. And I think that it'll be a nice representation that she'll get to see. And then we end by doing the meetup here, my meetup here in Las Vegas, as Deanie's asking about. Yes, it's going to be on Saturday, May 17th here. And then prior to the meetup, we'll be getting some of our local friends to come and help us unload the truck. Unload the truck. We're going to have a lot of help loading into the truck at Diane's home with family and friends. And we're hoping to have a lot of help with friends here locally unload the truck and load it all into what used to be my dining room, which is no longer going to be my dining room because all of the inventory is going to go in there.
You mean your storage room?
It's a new storage room in the house right now. Yes.
Yes.
And I'd like to say that if you are not along the way, we would really love you, Kim. We would really love you to still follow us. We're going to be having a few things we're working on right now. One is we're going to be having some kind of photo scavenger hunt. We're also going to have some kind of bingo for people who are not in person. So just
people
for viewers
following us in the Facebook group and on YouTube and in Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're going to we're going to do a photo scavenger hunt, and we're going to have bingo.
Nice.
Yes, we're gonna have a photo
We'll figure those out in the next week or so and have them loaded onto the website for you to download and use for your own. And then when you know, maybe it'll be, I don't know, how many times does Vikki drop the F-bomb because something fell out of the back of the truck, or like, who knows? Who knows what it'll be? It'll be some. Did Trish? How many? Did they get a flat tire? God forbid.
Oh God, that's not even funny, Victoria. That's not even funny. And I just would like to say, Clara is going to have some big prizes for people along the way. So we're going to have
also released perfectly for people that never tried it, for sure. We'll make sure that we make LP available. Since we don't have a free plan, okay, we it's amazing that you can go ahead and just assist to these meetups and get the benefit of LP. Maybe we won't have like amazing swag like eBay. I don't know what eBay sent me, but I'm jealous. We have some big totes. Okay, no, they really took it to the next level.
Okay, but you don't know, Vikki and I were on a call last week with a meetup leader, and she had eBay Legos.
Wow.
And I've never seen them, but I've
never seen them.
So we at least get them. I'm hoping that we have them at a few of our meetups. She's been kind enough that she said she's putting aside one for each of us because we were like, we need that.
Seriously, she brought out the Lego, and all I could think of was my daughter who's obsessed with Legos, and I was like, oh, I need it. So fun.
Yeah, so we're super excited. We also have our own swag.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have our own swag. Vikki and I bought a few little things with our. Do you have the graphic, Clara?
Oh yes, of course I do.
We bought some swag with our graphic on it. The graphic that I made for Vikki and I, because I think I'm funny.
That one.
It's a little ridiculous.
As soon as I said, like a truck with our big heads in it, and Vikki just looks at me like, what is happening? It's cute, Vic. So there might be some stickers with that on it. Who the heck else knows what will end up? But we are really looking forward to it. I am particularly really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. And
I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We're very excited to meet new people, to see and visit friends that we don't get to see very often. We always call our reseller friends that we know through YouTube and List Perfectly and just being just online. We call them our stranger friends. And then when you meet them, they're no longer strangers, but you're already friends. Like, I've had people say this to me many times. I'm sure Trish has as well. People will be like, oh my God, I feel like I already know you. I've been following you for years on YouTube or whatever. I'm like, you do know me. I just don't know you yet.
Yeah.
This is who I am. What you see is what you get. Ask Trish. She knows me very, very well. I am no different online than I am in person.
Even though she should be.
I probably should be. I cuss a lot more in person than I do online, and even that I do a little bit online. So,
So I love Vic so much, and one of the things, I run a mastermind class for anybody who's not with LP. I run a mastermind class every morning on Listing Party, and we talk about things not to do. And when it is ever about talking to customers or leaving feedback, I was like, don't be Victoria Egan. Now Victoria Zilberberg. But I say it all of the time. And I constantly are throwing Miss Vic under the bus. And sometimes I have read a comment she's forgiven to people.
She will read my replies to feedback to or people like, but don't be like Vikki. I'm like, why not?
Oh, Vic, I love you so much.
I am the customer is always right mentality. Sorry about it.
Yeah, so I have a mastermind every morning at 9 a.m. We have a different topic every day. If you belong to List Perfectly and you are not on Listing Party, you are missing out, in my opinion. And one of the things that's going to happen is when Vic and I are away, we're going to do mastermind together the entire time. That's one thing that I didn't really say. Every day, Vic and I are doing mastermind. No matter where we are.
First thing in the morning.
Because when I leave home, it's going to be 9 a.m. But when I get to her house, it's going to be 6 a.m. So we're going to do it the whole time. But then on Fridays, we're going to do just about the road show, what's happened, who we met, how it went. So we'll discuss the road show at least a few times when we're gone. And we're hoping those will be like open so that maybe some of you guys could come in also. We're working on that right now. And we're really going to try to get the community involved. And if anybody has any ideas for something ridiculous to make Vikki do, I'd be more than happy to listen to it.
Why just me?
Okay, both of us. Because I already do this stuff.
Listen, I'm going to say, Gina, yes, account health, as she says. However, I will say, just because I reply to people in the way that they deserve, my account is just fine. I'm still at 18,000 feedback at 99.5%. My account health is fantastic.
Okay, but here's the thing. Gina, I really appreciate you said that, because I think Gina's first inclination is to do what you're doing. But she's a newer seller.
I bet it is.
It is. Oh, it totally is. But she's a newer seller. She doesn't have as much. I mean, you could take a hit if somebody wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of these guys can't. So you taking a risk, a calculated risk.
Taking a hit. Yeah, it's different.
Right. So that's why I'm always saying account health.
That's fair. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. So this is Kat, the nurse flipper's house. I am in her office. Kat and I got here yesterday to Kat's house. I've been in Florida for the month, and Kat lives about 2.5 hours away from where I've been staying. I bought a small house in Kissimmee. She's in Chiefland, which is 2.5 hours north. And I got here yesterday, and we went thrifting all day today. And so I'm sure I'm going to be in those videos acting a fool, because I didn't realize that she didn't cut anything. She goes, no, if I record it, it gets put out. So who knows what I was doing. Yeah, it's bad. So I took some video. We talk about some things. So I look for, I'll get that out this week. Early next week. But it's been really great. I took some video of all of her places. So if you don't know much about Kat, hopefully you'll know a little bit more after we have some videos come out. I did stuff about her inventory system and her outbuildings and how she kind of has it set up, because I know that a lot of you guys are really interested in about how other people do inventory. It is one of those things, I think that one of those, we all do it, but we do it so differently. And sometimes we're looking for a new way. And so we're always looking at other people's inventory systems. And that is something that when Vic gets back to Las Vegas, that she and I will be talking about. So that's another part of this that we didn't really discuss, but I just want to throw this out there for educational purposes. When Vikki and I get back to Las Vegas, we're going to spend a week working on getting the stuff from Diane's LP account into Vikki's LP account. So we'll show you how to do that. Vikki knows. I do not know. I've never done it. Vikki's done it twice. So she's going to teach me how to do it. And then we'll talk about how she's going to incorporate this inventory.
Teaching you to do it. We'll be teaching everyone to do it.
Exactly. Yes.
So just to put out there, with LP, it's possible whether you're selling your inventory. Yes, we can transfer the listings from one account to another account and not just sub accounts. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there that we're capable.
Yeah. And it's very easy. And honestly, I will say this is a little bit different, but from the other times that I've purchased inventory from people that were already sellers, whether they were a List Perfectly user or not, if you were the List Perfectly user, that's all you need to know. And they will have to just provide you with, if they're not a List Perfectly user, then they need to provide you with their eBay logins, and they can go and change their passwords after. It's fine. It's no big deal. Or they can become a List Perfectly user and do it that way if they don't want to give up that control. But I will tell you, it's an invaluable tool. So it's a good bargaining and marketing tool when you're purchasing inventory from people. If the inventory is already listed, I'd be much more willing to pay $1 more per item or whatever it may be, because it's already photographed and listed and measured and all that crap.
Exactly.
That saves hundreds and hundreds of hours of work. So that makes life easy. So we are going to be doing that with Diane's information, putting it into my List Perfectly catalog, and then I'll be uploading it in bits and pieces on eBay. I'm not doing it all at once. I'm not taking 4,000 items and doubling my inventory overnight. That does nobody any good.
No.
Especially when I don't know where the heck anything is. So that's part of it. Integrating it into my home and figuring out where it's going to be inventory wise. We'll be talking about that. We'll be showing how we figure that out, because we still don't know how we're going to do it, because I also don't know how her items are already categorized and how much of that is going to be translatable.
Well, and that's the other thing I was going to say. The other thing that we will do is we will look at the inventory and kind of, figure out an inventory system also. And so we'll talk about that and what the process is, and give you guys an insight to how, Vic does it. And maybe I could say how I would have done it, and so, because I do think there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, right? We don't all have to do it the same way, as long as the only important thing is, and if you are in listing party, you've heard me say this a million times. I don't care whose system you use. I don't care what kind of inventory system you use. You have to have an inventory system. And saying, oh, I know where everything is. Well, if you get hit by a bus, and that's another thing I say all the time. What happens if you get hit by a bus? If you get hit by a bus, I need someone to be able to come in and to get the things that have sold. Because as soon as they are sold, you do not own them anymore. Someone else owns them, right? Somebody bought them from you. It's on your shelf, but they own it, and somebody has to get it out. And so for me, what I worry about in the nicest way is what's going to happen if something goes wrong. And so having some kind of inventory system that is not only that you can find it, but that somebody from the outside can find it, I think that's important.
Is that going to change for me? Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you that right now, because I do not have that type of inventory system. But that doesn't mean it's not the right way to do it.
That's not true. She's lying. She does. You are not the only one who can find it. Katie can find the things. Katie knows your system.
That's true, because she's going to be shipping for me while I'm gone.
Correct. 3 weeks. So what I'm talking about is people who literally will say to me, well, I know where everything is. I don't have to worry about it. So if something happened to them, there's not a husband, a brother, a wife, a friend.
That's fair. That's
nobody else. So
mine is not that difficult to figure out, although I do not have a numbered, lettered inventory system, and I highly recommend it. I'm not against it. It's just when you have 5,000 items, it would take me a month to get started and do it all over again. And I know Trish says, start from here and go forward. Doesn't work for me, but it would work for other people. Then that's fine. But it's going to be a little bit of an integration system, depending on how Diane's system is already. We're going to be looking at it. Like I think she has everything lettered and numbered already.
Yeah,
we're going to try to keep everything as close to that as possible as we load it into the truck, if possible.
Exactly.
And then unload it into the garage, if possible. At least it's in chronological order. We'll be setting it up that way, because that will allow me to be able to find it as things start to sell, as I'm integrating into, because here's the thing, I'm doubling my inventory with Diane's inventory. Am I going to stay at that level? Absolutely not. My point is to get it sold through and not I'm not going to be carrying 8,000 to 9,000 SKUs forever. That's not my goal. So we'll be figuring that part out. But also, we're also talking about eBay for charity, because I am going to be taking a percentage of every sale from every item that I'm acquiring from Diane's inventory and giving it to the Fearless Living Fund. So that's going back to her family as well. And the Fearless Living Fund is the charity that Diane set up a few years before her death to help benefit the Blind Center of Nevada, which is, again, ties back to our community and our friendship and everything. Where Diane first experienced the Blind Center of Nevada, that's where we host the Boss Reseller Remix. And it's a nonprofit in Las Vegas that we're very close with. And it all kind of ties together. Like, we're all kind of family at this point. And we're really excited to, it feels like this is a win-win for everyone. We're helping Diane's family get the inventory out of the space. It's infusing my inventory in my store so that it'll obviously be a financial benefit to me. I don't need to go and source a bunch of things for a long time, but it's also going to be giving money to the charity, where Diane's family, fortunately, was not devastated by her illness financially. She is one of the very few people that I'm aware of that was able to still live her life to its fullest till the very end without being financially devastated by something that devastates most Americans.
Yeah.
You know, cancer or a very difficult illness is what wiped out so much of this country financially. And thank God that her family was not impacted in that way. So financially speaking, her being able to set up a charity to help others in her time of need and continue this beautiful legacy is something that came from her heart. And I want to be able to help that. It's not like I need to sell the inventory to help Diane's family pay the mortgage type of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's not that type of thing. Thank God. So being able to help the charity and help that continue on for as long as her family is able to continue it is really the goal. And every little bit will help. So eBay for Charity is something that we'll be talking about as well. They have a setup where you can get a percentage or a dollar amount. You can set it up whichever way you want. We'll go to a registered nonprofit or 501c3 nonprofit organization from every single sale. They pull the money. They send the money independently. You don't have to do anything except choose the charity. They take them. It's not, I don't have to do the accounting for it. I don't have to do it weekly, monthly, yearly, anything. They take care of it all and they mail it for you. They mail the check or however they deposit the money. But it's out of sight, out of mind. It's not, you just need to set it up within each listing. So I'm very excited to do that and be able to sort the listings using the List Perfectly catalog by Diane's inventory. It'll be very easy to sort which ones were hers and which ones are mine and be able to go in and do that type of thing. I mean, I think having a catalog like that is just going to make everything so much easier.
Oh, it simplifies it to the point where it's hard to think of how you would do it in this kind of situation without
I don't know how I would. The factual thing is that if I had to, I think because of the connections that we both have with eBay, we would be able to make it happen. But but
it would be a pain.
It would not be easy. It would not be easy. And this way, I did see Tommy asking the question, is that something that LP does or is it something that we do individually? It's both. You could do both ways. If it's a big thing, I know that you could reach out to Clara and it's a ton of inventory and there's a way that they can help make it easier. And then there's also the way that I've done it the previous 2 times was just myself figuring out how to import.
Usually we get the request when it's about like 5,000 listings. People are like, can you just do it? I'm like, okay, and we need the permission. You know, we want to make sure it's done legally.
Either way, you can definitely do it for just a few hundred listings or a few thousand listings. You can do that yourself. The last time I did it was 2,500 listings and I did it myself and it just took me a few hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's not that hard because it's 100. How many could you do at a time? I don't remember. It's 100.
That depends, like anything else with LP, that depends on your internet speed. But I was able to do 200 at a time easily.
Yeah.
And I probably could have done more, but 200 is easy because you've got to be able to close out every window. So I wanted to make sure nothing got missed. And, and sometimes it's a computer, right? Computers, sometimes it will glitch out. I wanted to make sure I didn't glitch out on 500.
You can use import. We don't open any more tabs. Keep that in mind.
Yes, now you don't. But last time I did it was over a year ago. So
I was just wanted to say, Vic, there's no more tabs. But then I was like,
well, there's no more tabs, Vicky.
I had tabs at the time then. And so it was,
But Vikki, I want to make sure, to anybody watching, okay, you see Trish and Vikki have successfully been using LP. Vikki, LB Pink Peacock is your referral discount for LP?
Yep. Okay. Or Katie and Vikki, whichever one you'd like.
Okay, I put LB Pink Peacock to anybody that wishes to sign up for List Perfectly. This is Vikki's referral code. Remember that we literally were not paying to do this. Literally what we're doing is contributing and sponsoring to a beautiful project. And the most important thing is that we, as a company that doesn't have a sales team or advertising, we rely heavily on our amazing community to carry the voice of List Perfectly. Before I forget, I want to share a little about Katie and Vikki, their YouTube channel. This is their YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to it, I highly recommend it to you. You can follow this journey from their channel, from our channel, but also they have a Facebook group in which they're very active. And I'm going to share here. I highly recommend you. Let me see. Let me make sure I have so many groups. Boss. Okay, there we go. Boss. Okay, this is, and there we are. We have Katie wearing the t-shirt with Diane. So there you have it, boss. The group, all right. And then I'm sorry.
No, I was just laughing at the T-shirt, the way you were.
Okay. And then we have the Instagram profile that you just did into Katie and Vikki, right?
I did just change it to Katie and Vikki, and it used to be mine Instagram. So you will see that it's very lackluster at content. I definitely do not add to it as frequently as I should, but that will be changing. We will be doing a lot of content from this event and going forward with a lot of our YouTube stuff and a lot of our content. It's a reselling Instagram. So I just changed it over so that we can have a central one because Katie never uses hers.
And I made them start a Vikki and Katie Facebook page. So a group, I mean. So you can go find that. Also, it's brand new. It only has like 180 people in it or something. So we'd love it if you guys would come. And we'll post things on there. We'll post them on LP. But, like I think every day, I don't want to inundate poor Clara. So Clara, I'll probably give her the highlights, but the mundane stuff that you're going to see us do, we'll post all on Vikki and Katie.
Yeah, the Katie and Vikki group we created so that we didn't weigh down the List Perfectly group or the Boss Facebook group with our shenanigans nonstop. Okay. I mean, some people actually do come to the groups not because of us. So I don't know who those people are. However, we wanted to make sure that they could actually get the business content they needed without our annoying faces for 2 weeks in a row.
So, and the other thing I would like to say is sellerevents.ebay.com. That is where you can find all of this information. You can sign up for any of them. And I'm going to be making a few more hybrid events, much to Victoria's chagrin. I just think we can handle it. So I'm going to make a few more, some hybrid events. So keep an eye out for that. So right now we are just going from Boston to Las Vegas. And so Las Vegas would be the most, Southeast. No, sorry.
No,
Maryland will be the closest to the Southeast that we're getting. But let me just say this. If this is successful and this has a great response.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Let's be real.
When this is successful and when we get a great response, I am hoping that maybe we can do this in other parts of the country. If you guys are interested, please, let us know because we are interested in.
It definitely won't be a 13-day cross-country trip again. This is a one and done with that. However, don't you shake your head yet. This would be the only in a 16-foot truck. However,
oh no. I'm thinking we rent a convertible and we do Texas.
There you go.
And we do Florida. I'm like, Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Texas in the house. Okay, so this time, beautiful audience, they're going the northern route. Next time, they're going to the southern route. So maybe we do a Las Vegas to Boston.
Or Vegas to Orlando.
I love it.
What we're going to do is kind of I vote for the convertible.
Exactly.
It does have lots of states. So
they're calling you.
Yeah, I know. Exactly, Star. I promise I won't bring you off of a cliff, Vic.
I'm not sure I believe that.
Well,
I mean, we can't do this all the time because, I do have a business to run. However, I do like the idea of us doing a regional thing. Like maybe we'll do this again and we'll do New England and it'll be a 3-day thing in New England. Or we'll do it in Florida. It'll be a 2 or 3 day thing in Florida. Or it'll be, like you said, Texas. It'll be a 2-day thing in Texas or something. We're definitely not opposed to that. California, the groups where there are highly concentrated groups of resellers, and it's only going to be a couple of hours for people to drive for us to do a central thing. We are definitely going to do that. And Katie will obviously join us when we do those type of things as well. She's definitely not a 13 meetup person. Well, I'm going to be real here.
How dare she?
Katie loves people to a degree. She's an introvert, not an extrovert. Trish and I are both as extroverted as can be. And Katie would need a month-long retreat in a hut if she did 2 weeks with us in a truck.
Anybody that knows Katie and Vikki,
She'd be like, I'm out. I will talk to you in a month.
You crack me up, Vikki.
The one day thing, like even when we do like the Boss Reseller Remix or we do meetups and things like that, she is so drained by the end of the day. She like needs to retreat, and she could never do this. Yeah, Kim's like, I'd have to stare at a wall for 2 weeks after. See,
No,
that
Amanda is the same.
Invigorates me.
Amanda's the same.
Amanda is the same. She needs like literally 1 week of just petting the cat and waking up at her odd 4 a.m. and having her odd schedule and no people. I'm like, I need more people. I come energized and I'm like, oh, where does it continue? It's like
we're going to be tired from driving for 8 hours, but I guarantee it'll be 20 minutes and we'll be rallied and we'll be fine.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Absolutely. So unless are we wrapping this up, because I just want to make sure that we tell the audience that they can follow us now. Go to Listing Party.
Please come over. Ask us ridiculous questions.
So now we're gonna join us in Listing Party. Every List Perfectly for a member for any plan, okay, has unlimited access to Listing Party, where we're not doing a live stream. You don't need to share the camera nor your microphone, or maybe you want, and then you can join us and chit chat with us and ask more details about Vikki and Trish's wild road trip. And oh my goodness, how you're gonna join them? Are you gonna join them virtually? Are you gonna join them in person? Because I don't think did we touch on the part of they can join both ways, right?
A little, I'm going to be setting that up this week. So some of these, Boston's definitely going to be hybrid, and I'm working on a few others. So I'll let everybody know as soon as I have it set up.
If it's possible, we're going to try to do the hybrids. Like obviously the thrifting with us ones or the ones that are at restaurants are not really feasible to do that just because of sound and everything. But there are a couple that are very possible. I think we're going to try for Ohio as well, because that's classroom style, the way that it's set up there. And I think that would translate well. So the ones that we can do, we are going to do. I know that it won't work at my meetup at my house because it's too loud.
Vikki, what would you, let's say you don't know me, I attend this meeting, I've never been on one. What would you be your hope that I take from going to these meetups and meeting with you and Trish, that you're such a dynamic duo? What is your hope for attendees?
My hope is that anyone that's never attended anything like this is able to come and feel like they found their community. And maybe that person sitting next to you might live 20 minutes away from you, that they have a different sourcing outlook, or they may become your new accountability partner, or whatever that may be, someone that you connect with that is closer to you, that helps you go forward and do better in your business. Sometimes it's just somebody to meet and have coffee with and bitch about eBay or whatever. I mean, that's the reality. Sometimes you need that, and it's
normal.
You don't have that, you don't know what you're missing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's my hope, is that you're able to meet someone that becomes, a helper to you in your business. It's mutually beneficial, whatever that may be, whatever that is that you're missing or lacking. Maybe your business is dialed in and you're making $300,000 a year. You don't even care. Great. Good for you. Maybe you can help mentor someone else.
Right.
Or
whatever
just
that may be.
And have a fun time. Just attend and have a fun time with other resellers. That for me is the main thing, to be with other resellers. But Trish, what would be your hope of the attendees? What do you wish they could take or absorb the most from these meetups?
I think maybe that the reselling world is bigger than you realize when you first start, or even when you've been doing it for a while. It seems very insular, and it seems like it's you and a computer, and it is not. It is huge. And there are many of us out here who do this every day and talk to resellers. I talk to Tommy 5 days a week. I talk to Jill almost 5 days a week, and I think that the emotional support thing is very true. And I also think that having just somebody who maybe your partner doesn't understand what you do. And, I am very lucky. My husband is very easy, but I have friends who their husbands are like, why the hell is there a pile of jeans in the living room? Why did you buy more? You have them. Like, they just don't understand. And so it's nice to be able to have somebody say, oh, 50 cents a pair? Oh, yeah, I would have bought them all. You know, sometimes you need somebody to bat better. And I think knowing that the world is a little bit bigger really helps.
Yep. Well said. Well said. So thank you so much. I want to say, yes, Tommy or anybody, okay, contact me. For those of you looking for the tote bags, I'll take care of you guys. Okay, you know how to find us. We'll take care of you. But thank you so much, Trish and Vikki, and we'll see you at listing party. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend and many